Hello everyone and welcome to my track guide for the Raceworld indoor circuit in Exeter. So I've raced on this track about 5 or so times now, and I've started to get a good understanding of how to get a quick lap around here, at least to about as good as I can do anyway. So recently I finally got to put a GoPro on my helmet to film some footage when I raced with a couple of my fellow C-Team BUKC drivers in Chris and Zane, and I just about beat Chris in the race despite having had him behind me for basically the whole race. And luckily we got the perfect track conditions that day, which allowed some pretty quick lap times to be recorded, and the best I managed to get was a 27.279, which at the time was in about the top 20 or so of the month, which I was pretty happy with. So I'll try and give some advice and tips on how to get a quick lap around here, but first of all I'll play the lap just as it is so you can see what it looks like at full racing speed. So here we go. Okay, so let's slow that lap down a little bit and try and highlight some of the bits where you may be able to gain a bit of time. So coming across the start-finish line, you want to be as far to the left as possible, and helpfully there's that little curb that you can just go straight across, and that is a perfect marker to line yourself up for turn one, which is indeed a flat-out corner, so long as you've done a few laps and your tyres are up to temperature. So you want to be trying your best not to lift at all. If you do lift, it's ever so slight, but really you just want to be completely flat out through there, as close to the wall on the inside as possible, and then try and use that curb to just sort of guide yourself around the corner. You may need a bit of counter steering, as I had to do there, just to make sure you don't completely slide all the way out to the left hand side, but it doesn't matter too much so long as you're lined up for the next corner, as you do want to be right over to the left near to the wall again for the hairpin so you can turn into the right. So late braking here, again, turn in as close as you can to that tyre barrier on the inside. It's all about just getting those fine margins that really can gain you a few tenths here or there. Straighten the wheel up so you can accelerate straight away, which is important because this next corner on the left is a flat out corner. So many people think it's quicker to lift through there, but no, if you can carry the speed through and not lift at all, you're going to be gaining a lot of time on other people on the track. So I do get a bit of oversteer here, which probably does lose me a couple of hundredths of a second. But even so, I've been able to not lift off at all and just carry the speed through and then run it out as close as you can to the wall on the right. Obviously, if you feel like you're going to go straight into it, then do lift off. But if you've got the right line through that corner, clipping the apex perfectly in the middle, then you should be able to just run it out perfectly and line yourself up for the next hairpin, which I do think is probably the hardest set of corners on the track, just because you've got to nail the line to really make sure you get the perfect lap time. So it's as late as possible into here. So there's a little right on the right, there's a little blue like barrier, which is perfect to use as a break point. And then you want a late apex here. So people get tempted to turn in early and hit the middle part of the corner. But no, like here, you just want to be hitting right on the end of the apex. So you can be over to the left-hand side for this right-hander, which is flat out. People think that they need to lift off again here. Really not at all. If you've got the right line coming out of that first part of the hairpin, you can just get right in close to this right-hand wall and just run the car out with no lifts at all as fast as possible. So because you need to carry that speed, it's crucial, because then you're going over the ramp, which needs as much speed because you're going uphill. So if you're losing time in the previous corner, that's going to affect you all the way up this ramp. And if you are going quick like me, especially keep the car in a straight line going up this hill, because it's obviously more beneficial to drive in a straight line up a hill. And if you are carrying that speed, you do get a bit of air, so you will jump out the kart. So then you need to immediately jump on the pedal on this black bit of tarmac right at the end as you go across that line. That is the break point for the final corner. So break into there, turn in, obviously getting close to the wall as you can, and then you just want to keep turning left. So don't get tempted to turn out to the right hand side. You think it may be quicker. No, you just want to be left, ideally probably even closer than I am here. You might gain a few hundredths there. Just keep it left, keep as close as possible, and you should be on the power and running it out onto the final straight, which should hopefully, if you can follow some of those tips, then you should be perfect for getting a much better lap time. So there you go. There's a lap of Raceworld in Exeter, and thank you for watching.